Yeah, this is Ray Bang Hill. Please like and subscribe. Yeah, I was talking about fighters today. You know what? When you think about it, when we're kids, yeah, young kids, and my mum was by herself. She had nothing. My mum had nothing. Just about survive, just about go out and get food for us, and just about survive. It was really hard work, mate. 4 or 5 jobs a day to pay the rent and get your food and put it on a plate. Yeah. So you're brought up a hard way, and it's really hard way to be brought up. And I was one of the ones that, because I was brought up the right way, being sexually abused as a child and all this and that wanted to I wanted to hurt people. It wasn't my fault. I wanted to hurt people to get money from my mum and to live a better life. I didn't want to see my mum live the life she lived, struggling. You know what I mean? So because I went out and got money and this, right, and they put me away, yeah. But as an amateur boxer, I was a good amateur boxer. I wasn't fighting no one at all. I won quite a lot of my fights, yeah. And I was going to be the next one, I believe, yeah. To go down Haverstock Hill on Overlaw and spar down there with Joe Bugner. He became British and European champion. He fought for the world title as well. You got Billy Head that became European champion, I think, and maybe the British champion, Billy Head. I sparred with him. Used to hold my own with both of them people, yeah. And then for Bobby Neal, who's a good professional trainer, who had Pat McCann and a few other fighters, wanted me to turn pro with him. Then people want you to turn pro with him because they think you're the next up and coming, yeah. And then I went to the Wellington Highgate, and I trained with Mickey Duff, Jarvis there, Harry Levine, all those people. Going there with Conti. I never sparred with Conti at all. Sparred with lots of others in there and held my own, yeah. And Mickey Duff, I think it's Harry Levine, come round my house for me to turn pro, for me to turn paperwork, to talk to my mum, for me to turn pro. Like an idiot, I wasn't there. I thought women are more important than my fights. They wanted me to turn pro with them. I was a good fighter, mate. They wouldn't have wanted me to turn pro. Bobby Neal, Mickey Duff, Harry Levine, Jarvis Astaire, them sort of people, if I wasn't no good. And I mean, I look back at them times and I must have been a fool, yeah? I must have been a right idiot to myself, yeah? I could have been someone. I mean, I've got my friend John L. Gardner. He became a good fighter, John. Had about 45, 50 fights. Never lost, I don't think he lost one or two, I'm not quite sure. But a good fighter. I thought I was better than him. But he had good people behind him, looking after him, giving him money, so he didn't have to work, you know. He didn't have to work. All he done was train. They see it there. They see young one white boy who's going to go places. Because don't remember, in them days, you had Hemi Cooper, Billy Walker, Jack Bodell, you know, Prescott's and all them people that they was playing out. We was coming in, yeah. So they wanted the white fighter again because you had Clay, Fraser, all them people. George Foreman, Norton's, and all them black fighters. But they wanted some white fighters, you know what I mean? And I could have been one of them fighters. But I decided that money was more important to me at that time. Where I might have been going getting, what, I don't know, £200, £300 a month. I wanted to get £200, £300 a day. You know, is it greed, or is it just what you want to get? Don't forget, I had my mum to look after. You know, I wanted the best possible for her. You know what I mean? Then what happens? You get involved with people that you've met. Most of them you've met in prison. Most times, the people you met out on the street are people you met in prison. And when you go back in prison, believe it or not, you always meet the same people. It's crazy. We all get captured, you know what I mean? We all go back the same way, the same place in prison, talking about how we got caught. And that's how it's about. And I met my mates, a couple of black guys, and we was doing robberies all the time, getting good money, and then one day do something stupid, and what happens? Get put away for a long time. and then you come out again, meeting all these people, and then you get put away again for a long time. This time you come out, and you think to yourself, do you know what? I was a good fighter, you know. Why don't I go into this illegal street fighting game? I've heard so much about Lenny McLean. I've heard so much about Roy Shaw. I haven't heard nothing about this Lou Yates. I've heard people like Cliff, because I know Cliff very well anyway. You know, there's other people that I've heard about in there, and I thought, yeah, why not have a go? It sounds to me, but why do they take that living from you as being a professional fighter? Government. Why? Because we're bad boys? Most fighters, especially heavyweight fighters, have become bad boys. They've always done villainy in their life. That's how they've been brought up. A lot of fighters have been brought up in my days with nothing. They want nothing, and the only way they can get their money was with their fists. And I was one of them people. But in the end of the day, I thought the only way to get my money was with a gun. And hurting people to get the money, yeah. Anyway, I go in prison for a long time. I come out of prison in 1978, 79. I moved to Lewisham. The greatest thing that ever happened to me at that time was to meet a guy called Jimmy Tibbet. I mean, Jimmy Tibbet was someone that I never thought that I'd meet. I mean, for me to go down a pub and meet Eddie Richardson was someone that I read about, someone I'd never thought that I'd meet. You know, you've now becoming involved in gangsterism, and it's one of the things you can't get out of. You're in it. I meet Terry Coombs, another gangster. I meet Terry Sharp, another gangster. Jimmy Tibbet, definitely a gangster, 100% a gangster. And you're meeting more people. Big George, forget his name, Big George, hey, cowboy, big scar down his face. Another gangster. Got it done with a Smithy turnout, when they shot the guy in the club. I mean, all them people, to meet all them people, you know what I mean? All them gangsters, and then go somewhere else after all that. Go down to Lingfield. I meet a guy called Johnny Critterton. Johnny Critterton, fucking proper gangster. Used to torture people in the greyhound stadiums, in his greyhound, a place where I used to keep them. Coming in the stables, greyhound stables, all stables, but for the greyhounds, yeah. And that's where I used to torture people. I used to go in him and show me things, I couldn't believe it. You open your eyes to it and you think to yourself, Jesus Christ, I'm involved in this now. I'm involved in this gangsterism, you know what I mean? And then people around you are proper gangsters. And all of a sudden, you're becoming a gangster. You're becoming a gangster. You're becoming in taking money for people. Gangsterism. You're becoming that person, an enforcer. Yeah? Meeting them people. Meeting Jimmy Tibbet. Having fights. Going in the ring. Sparring with proper people. Roy Shaw. Lenny McLean. Lloyd Waltham. Columbo. Steve Richards, his name was. You know, getting in there and fighting with people. Other names that I forgot, you know. But proper people, proper fighters. And then going for Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp, fighting in the Wellington Highgate. You know what I mean? And then fighting in other places like the Cat's Whistle Streatham and the Harvey Social Club Woolwich. Fights used to happen in these places, unbelievable, yeah? And to meet Cliff Fields all over again, yeah? To see Cliff Fields fight all over again. To see Cliff Fields when he fought Ronnie Redrupt. Yeah, I was there. I was there that night, yeah, when he fought Ronnie Redrupt. Do you know what I mean? To see all that. And to know that I could fucking beat them myself. Maybe not. Me and Cliff used to fight, muck about fights. I've definitely beat Cliff once. Proper fight, me and Cliff had, yeah. But Cliff used to bash me up regular. Cliff was a good fighter, good bang. I don't think he was that good a pro, Cliff. But as far as street fight is concerned, he was quite good at that game, yeah. And I learnt a lot off him. I learnt a lot off Cliff. I love the way he fights. I love the way he fights. He comes forward all the time. He's throwing punches all the time. He don't stop. He don't stop throwing punches all the time, 24/7. When I see Lenny, when he fought Kevin Paddock and Sid Paddock, I'm not quite sure he fought Sid, but I know he fought Kevin Paddock. I was there that night he fought him, and I remember Kevin coming out and Lenny McLean touching Kevin on top of the head, put his glove on top of the head, thought he was no one, and then he just steamed into Lenny and bashed him up, mate. You know, I don't bash him up. I'm not saying bash him up, but he beat Lenny. Roy, Sid Paddock come unstuck with Roy. He didn't realise Roy was so fit, and he come unstuck. Roy beat him, but he said he could have beat Roy if he'd have been a lot fitter. Good fighters. These people are good fighters. You got Sid Paddock, heavyweight, good fighter. You know, and people doesn't really know too much about Sid Paddock. Sid Paddock was a good pro. Sid Paddock was, well, not a good pro, but he was a pro. He was a hard person. When he got into his legal fights, listen, there wasn't many people who wanted to fight them Paddocks. Believe me, them Paddocks could fight. A lot of people swerved them, yeah? I didn't swerve them. They're fights for me to fight, yeah? Even though he drew, maybe I lost to Sid. I don't know. Maybe I lost to Kevin. I don't know, but I think it was a draw. We had a draw, but you know they was good fighters. Maybe they give it to me because I'm local, but it was a draw, yeah. But I respect them too, Sid and Kevin, a lot. Sid I love, good fighter. Rest in peace, Sid. And Kevin Paddock, proper man. He's now about 28 stone. He's about 5'7", 5'8", 28 stone, massive. I have got to do a podcast. I keep saying it isn't me that we are going to get down and see him. We must get down and see him. You know, I don't want to get 30, 40 stone before I get down and see him and about to see him, you know what I mean? He'd be massive. And he won't be able to get out of bed. I'll have to do the podcast while he's in bed. But he's a good fighter, yeah? And then sort of getting involved with gangsterism, you know? Proper gangsterism. Things that I don't really want to say to you too much about. I'm now doing a book, yeah? I've done about, 10 hours of it into my book. And I'm doing 2 or 3 hours a week. So the book will be, June, July, something like that. Maybe 2 books, maybe even 3 books. But they're going to be good books, yeah? And it's about my life. And believe me, I've got a good life, yeah? And believe me, I've had a hard life. And believe me, my life has been all about gangsterism, villainy, and robberies, yeah, and hurting people. That's all it's been about. And I'm not proud to do it, to say that, but what else can you do in your life, yeah? What else is there to do when all they want to do is take everything from you? They ain't taking things from me. I want to go and get it. Now, I've got one guy, a guy called Hayley. This guy, mate, is like a god to me, yeah? He's like my brother, yeah? He's like, do you know, like everyone's got guardian angels, they say. Yeah, he's like my guardian angel, Terry. He come from nowhere, yeah? I was talking about his dad. His dad was also a gangster. His dad, Dennis. I liked Den. I loved him, man. Good worker, proper grafter. Money was no object to him. Work was no object to him. He had a good boy, and this is the son, Terry Hayley. I was on the podcast one day doing some weights. Out of the blue, Terry comes with some weights for me. Talks to me about his dad. I can't believe it that he was Dennis's son, and we got to know each other. And since that, we've been mates. And I learned one about someone you will never believe as a friend. I love him like my brother, mate. I love him like my brother. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my whole life. I mean, I've had some good people in my life who've stood by me, yeah? Mickey Gooch, good man. Me and him was like brothers, me and Mickey Gooch. Dangerous man. People don't think he is, but believe me, he is. I mean, proper nice man, mate. Proper nice man. But Terry Hayley has been different kettle of fish to me. His kids are absolutely fantastic. His kids, you couldn't get better kids than what he's got. They're all like their dad. They're all like their dad. They speak, they work 24/7. All they want to do is get on in life. Get on and earn money and look after their kids. They're the greatest parents you could ever see. Honestly. I mean, I've lost a lot, yeah. I lost my houses, my women. I lost a lot. Of course I'm gutted. Of course I'm sick that I've lost all this. Of course I am. I've got kids, yeah, that I don't even see. I've got kids that don't call me dad, but call me dad. But really, they don't want to call me dad at all, because I am a dad. I've got one, yeah, Ricky. Ricky loves me to death. And he found me, yeah, through his stepfather, his real father dying, his stepfather dying, never knew that he was not his real dad, had a feeling that he was his real dad. But then his mum, when he did die, told him that I was his dad. Even though we went to school with my other son, Jay, he felt in his own heart there that there was some connection there, which you do. And he now knows that I'm his dad, Rael. The only thing that upset me about my Ricky, yeah, that my Ricky went all over London to see the people that I know, or I knew. I was more frightened for my Ricky than anything, because I didn't want him to get involved with people that maybe I've hurt their sons, I've robbed them, or things like that. So that upset me. And I tried my hardest to stay away from him, because I didn't want him to get involved in any gangsterism that I used to get involved with. I don't want him to get involved with that. I don't want him to get hurt. He's my son. So I pulled away from him as much as I possibly can. He's on me all the time. He talks to me on the phone, texts me all the time. I don't reply to his texts. Not because I don't want to, because I do. He's my son. But I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to be hurt over his dad. I don't want that. I've got my other boy, Jay. My boy Jay used to be at school with Ricky. My boy Jay was a boy that wanted to be like his dad. A boy that was going to be like his dad. A boy that could really, really fight. A boy that wasn't frightened of no one. 16 years of age, and he was knocking big men out at clubs and all that on the door. Everybody was petrified of my boy. And what happens? He goes visiting my boy, meeting places, don't turn up at certain times, and in the end they get pissed off of you. They love me as their dad, but they love me more as Ray Hill, the enforcer, gangster, criminal. They love that part of it, yeah? But is that the right way to love someone? Perhaps it is, perhaps it ain't. You know? I look back at them things and I say to myself, I wish in a way, yeah, that I'd have took the right step instead of the wrong step. The wrong step isn't no good for you, mate. You know what I mean? Even though we go and get lots of money out of the wrong step, even though we get big reputation as a wrong step, but we also get hurt physically as well as mentally. Mental side of it is the worst part in the world, mate. When you're losing things you love, when you're losing the women that you love, when you're losing your kids that you love, you're losing everything, your mum that you love, your dad that you love, your brothers and your sisters that you love. It's hard to keep hold of them. I've kept hold of 2 of them, yeah? But it breaks my heart to lose the others over me being a gangster, being a villain, being someone that hurts people physically, mentally, or whatever you're going to be, yeah? I don't want that no more in my life. because I've lost so much doing it in my life. I've hurt people, big people, people who think they're gangsters, people who think they're someone. I've hurt them, put them in hospital. Is it good? No, I don't think it is good. You know what I mean? Because I was the top one. I was going club. We're petrified of me. Petrified of me. And petrified of the company that I was with. The company that I was with was the most dangerous company in England, yeah? And one in particular, I loved him, man. He was one of my best pals. He was one of my best pals in prison. In two prisons, actually. Albany and Mason. This guy was a gentleman, mate. He couldn't be a more gentleman than what he is. I don't like people when people hear people slagging him down because people don't know him. I knew him, yeah, and he was a proper man. Of course, cool. Listen, he can't fight me physically. He can't fight me. He can't fight me, but he can get me killed 24/7. But why? I was his pal. I was his mate. I was one of his best mates, mate. Me and him trained every day. I used to call him the antelope when he used to run. Fit. This guy was fit, 100% fit, mate. He used to train with me every day in the gym, yeah? And I loved him, man. He liked a nice fella, but we fell out over something fucking stupid. Something really, really stupid. But that's how life is. You never fall out of anything proper. It's always something really, really stupid. Other people saying things that you shouldn't say. And that's what happens in life, yeah? But we fell apart. Me, Mickey Gooch, he was like a brother, man. He was like my mate Terry. Me and Mickey go back a long way. There's stories that go sky high. There's stories in there that are 12 inches thick in a book. That's how far it goes. Me and Mickey was like proper. I loved his wife, Kathy. I loved his little girl, Danny. Listen, you see her bedroom. That is the best bedroom I've ever seen in my life, yeah? Kathy was the best mother that I've ever seen in my life. She was fantastic, mate. She was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they used to leave things hanging around the house that you wouldn't believe. I went in the toilet one day and he had a chain in there. What was it worth? I don't know. 250 grand? This chain was full of diamonds. Full of diamonds. Massive chain. Massive great big stones. Every link. I was petrified. No, I want to nick it. It petrified me though. All the same. I went downstairs and said to Mick, there's a chain in that bathroom, mate. It frightens the life out of me. Oh, fuck me. Is it? All right, mate. Sorry about that, mate. Don't pee up, mate. Bring it down to me. I went upstairs, it weighed a ton. So you give it to Mick, you went, thanks mate, and put it around his neck as if like it was just an ordinary bit of chain. He was murder. He was murder. And one day, I remember Kathy giving me a call. She said, well, quick, get over quick. I said, what's up, Kath? Anyway, get over there. She said, listen, this is what I found on the stairs. What is that? And it was a set of earrings, yeah? These earrings were like 3 carat diamonds, each earring, 3 carat diamonds. I said, so what's the problem? She said, but they came out of Mickey's jewellery box. I went, fucking hell. She said, but I still had it on the stairs. She said, but the cleaner, she must have took them and dropped them on the stairs. How else can they get on the stairs, Ray? There isn't anybody else, only me, and they ain't come out from me, must be the cleaner. So the cleaner was one of Mickey Gooch's mates' wives. So now I've got to go around there and talk to them about that. Anyway, I went round there, talked to her about it, and she said, so-and-so, I didn't say what she said, but what she said to me, and then Kathy said, you can't work here no more. Even if I love you as a person, you can't come here no more. You can't be doing them things. You can't be taking things home to your house and doing things with them and then bringing them back. That ain't on. You know, so that happened. And one day I went in the house and she had this bulldog, Victorian bulldog, but Kathy didn't like it. She didn't like the bulldog. She hated this bulldog. It was only a puppy. And in her swimming pool, right, she had a big plastic goes over the top of the pool. She let the dog out, I think deliberately. Let the dog out. What did the dog do? Walk across the pool. She never tied it up, which I think Kathy done it for a reason. And the dog went point in the pool, all that plastic stuff went around it and drowned. Kathy got hold of me to go and collect it out of the pool, cried her eyes open as if she didn't want it dead. Kathy. Anyway, and then one day she called me over because I used to go over there and 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And Kathy was lovely, man. Mickey would be in America and I'd go over there and make sure Kathy was all right. Any time she might have had a problem, I'd go over there. Phone me up 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, someone's around the house. It's fighting the life out. Come over quick. Go over there. Nothing. All she wanted was to find out where Mickey was, find out about Mickey. I don't know, nothing. My mouth's sealed, mate. I ain't say nothing. And she had these 2 cats, Plaxel and Beagle. Fucking hell. These 2 Persian cats, massive, beautiful, beautiful cat. I'm on about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. She said, "Do you want something to eat? Do you want egg and chips?" I said, "Yeah, I love egg and chips, Kath, honestly." In the morning, you know, fucking it. As she brought the egg and chips over to me, and I dipped the first chip into the egg, I went, "What's that smell, Kath? It's got to be egg, it's got to be off." It wasn't the egg that was off, it was the fucking cat. One of the cats has shit up the wall. Oh, what? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, I love Kathy. I love Mickey very much. I've nicked a few things with Mickey. I've done a few things with Mickey Gooch. I love him like a brother. Me and him fell out over something stupid. I was on crack cocaine and he's never going to forgive me. But it happened, and that's why it happened. But he was one of my best pals, Gucci, and very dangerous man. People must never underestimate him, mate, because he's dangerous. And please never ever hurt Mickey Gooch, because you'll have me to do with. And Mickey Gooch, my pal, still my pal in my heart, yeah. Anyway, this is Ray Bang Bang Hill. Please like and subscribe. And I'm sorry I've gone on a bit about other things, but it's what I do. You know I'm a bit crazy. Please like and subscribe and have a good night. Bye-bye.